Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bibbidi Bobbidi Books. My name is Ellie and today I thought I would film a bit of a spooky weekend reading vlog. So I was going to film the whole week and do another sort of weekly reading vlog, but it is now Friday and I haven't picked up the camera, and yeah, so we're just going to do it over the weekend. To be fair, I've not been feeling very well this week, so that's kind of the reason why I didn't start filming earlier. But yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better now, which is perfect because it's just in time for the weekend, and I am actually planning to go to London tomorrow to see a show, which is going to be really fun, and hopefully do some book shopping as well. So yeah, hopefully it's going to be a really lovely weekend. In terms of my reading, I haven't done a huge ton of reading this week, but I did make a start on The Day of the Triffids by Wyndham. So this is a classic sci-fi post-apocalyptic novel, and it's basically all about this cosmic event that happened. So there was this meteor shower that literally made everybody in the world go blind except for our main character. So our main character was actually having eye surgery at the time, so his eyes were all bandaged up, so he didn't actually see the meteor shower, hence why he still has his sight. And this book is also known for having Triffids, which are man-eating plants. So that's kind of the main threat really. Basically there are these plants that can walk and they eat human flesh, and they are kind of taking over the world now that humanity has gone blind because they've got the upper hand. Obviously we're much more defenseless if we don't have our sight. So yeah, that's kind of the premise of this story, and I have been enjoying this one. I will say it's taken me a little bit of a while to get into it, and I think that's partly because of the way it's been written. Obviously this is a classic. I think it was written in 1951, so the language is just a little bit different to what I'm used to, and it's taken me a bit of a while to kind of warm into it, but I am kind of getting there now, and I am chipping away at it slowly when I'm in the mood. But I did actually want something a little bit more spooky and a bit more Halloweeny, so I have actually been reading quite a lot of spooky middle grades recently, but I was just craving something a bit more scary, a bit more adult. So I did actually treat myself to a new book when I wasn't feeling very well to cheer myself up and I got this one. So this is Salem's Lot by Stephen King. So I have been meaning to pick up Stephen King for the longest time, but have been so intimidated by the amount of books that the man's written, because he's written a lot of books. But I just thought I would bite the bullet and give one a go, and I decided on Salem's Lot because it's one of his earlier works and it just sounded more interesting to me than Carrie, which is the first book that he published that kind of pushed his career forwards. Yeah, I just thought this one sounded a bit more up my street and more in keeping with what I was looking for. So yeah, I went for this one and I was really excited to get stuck into it, but unfortunately I am not loving this one so far. So I've read the first 106 pages and I have just found it really slow and kind of boring, which is such a shame because it's my first experience with Stephen King and I really wanted to love it, but I'm just not feeling it at the moment. I think it's because there's just been so much world building in here. So basically this story is about a man who is a writer who goes back to this town where he spent a lot of his childhood years to write a novel, and when he was a child he had a kind of paranormal experience within this creepy house that's in the town, and he's always been kind of fixated on it, and I think that's part of the reason why he decides to go back to this town to write his book. But not much has really happened that's been that scary. We had a little flavour of something spooky fairly near the beginning when the main character was kind of telling his experience as a child. You know, he had this kind of paranormal experience in the creepy house, so that was really cool and felt very kind of Haunting of Hill House vibes, and I was really into it. But that's the only bit that we've had so far. Apart from that, we've literally just been going around the town, meeting every single person that lives in this town, and just, yeah, there's a lot of characters in here and I just feel like it goes on a bit long, and I'm just hoping that it picks up soon. I did actually read some reviews and a lot of people say that it starts out really slow but it does pick up and get really good and really gripping. So I do think I'm going to stick with this one, but I just hope that it gets going soon because I am finding it a little bit boring, which is such a shame. But we shall see. Hopefully my opinions change and I really enjoy it as I read on. Please let me know in the comments if you think there's any Stephen King books that I should pick up as a newbie, because yeah, as I said before, I just find it a bit overwhelming. and I've not really known where to start. So yeah, I would love to know your comments if you have read any of his books and what you think would be a good place to start. Anyway, I feel like I have been going on for ages, so I am going to pop off now. I'm going to go and sort my tea out. So yeah, I guess I will check in with you tomorrow when I'm heading off to London. Good morning everybody, happy Sunday. I had such a lovely day yesterday. Oh my goodness, it was so much fun going to London. We saw Frozen the musical, which was absolutely incredible. The sets were just amazing, the costumes were stunning, the cast was incredible, the music, it was just such a fun night. So I absolutely loved that. And then we did actually do some book shopping as well, which was fun. I went to this one particular shop which was like a witchy book shop. I can't remember the name of it now, but I'll pop it on the screen because it is so cool. They had so many amazing books on kind of witchcraft, myths, fairies, mermaids, tarot, loads of cool stuff like that, which was really fun to look around. And they had some really old books as well, which was so cool. And then we went to Foyles, which is just so huge and overwhelming, but very cool. And we also went to Forbidden Planet as well, which is where I did treat myself to one. So I thought I would show you. So this is The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. Now this is a book that I actually already had on my wish list. I was going to ask for it for Christmas. So when I saw this beautiful edition in the sale, I just couldn't say no, could I? Because I already want to read it. So yes, this is a kind of mystery thriller horror book that's set on a ship in the ocean, and it's one of those thrillers that's kind of question mark whether something paranormal to do with the devil and devil worshipping is going on or whether it's something else. And I just think that sounds so fascinating, and the fact that it's set on the seas as well is just terrifying to me because the open ocean is actually something that I'm quite scared of. So I think this is going to be really scary. I've heard great things, and this is such a beautiful edition. Look at that gorgeous cover. I love the sort of sea pattern on it, and this does actually have the coolest sprayed edges. Look at this. Oh my goodness, so cool. I love the contrast between the blue green and the kind of oranges here. Just a very cool edition, and it's signed, which is very exciting. You can see the signature there. I don't actually own hardly any signed books, so that's a fun novelty to me. And yeah, what a beautiful hardcover. It's got a gorgeous illustration of the ship there on the end page. Very cool. I'm not going to read the blurb because I don't want to know too much. I just like the vague premise of it being like a murdery question mark whether the devil is involved situation on a boat. So yes, I'm very excited about this one, and I'm hoping to get to this one in November, so hopefully I will be reading and wrapping this one up soon. And whilst I'm showing you books, I thought I would show you something that I actually got in the post recently. Oh my goodness, wow, this is even more stunning in real life. Oh my goodness, this is an absolutely gorgeous special edition of the well-loved sci-fi novel Dune, written by Frank Herbert. This is just stunning. I love the purple and the copper on here, and look at these sprayed edges. Wow. My goodness, what a stunning book. I'm pretty sure this has art. Yes, oh my goodness, wow, this has got gorgeous art on the end pages as well. Look how cool that is. Oh, I love that. And on the back as well, is it? Yes. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Look at the famous sort of sand creature that Dune is known for there. So cool. So this is actually a book that I haven't read before. Oh my goodness, I just noticed the spine. Wow. That is very cool. Oh, this has got to be one of the most beautiful books that I own. How beautiful. Anyway, I was saying I haven't actually read Dune, but this is actually one of my boyfriend's favourite ever books. So I kind of bought this for him as well, for both of us to have. And I do really want to read this one because obviously it's a classic sci-fi, and we've also got the film coming out soon, and I really want to read the book before I watch the film because I just want to have the opportunity to kind of imagine and experience the world for myself before I see the movie, because otherwise if I see the movie first, that's just all I will picture when I read the book. So yeah, I'm very excited to have this stunning edition to read, and hopefully I'll get to this one in November as well because I want to read it soon. So yeah, gorgeous. What beautiful books, oh my goodness. In terms of the book that I've actually been reading, Salem's Lot by Stephen King, I did actually do some reading on the train, so I'm now about 200 pages in, and I am actually enjoying this now. So it took me a long time to warm into this book, a good like 150 pages or so, before I actually got invested in the story. So we've had more horror-y stuff going on, we've had people going missing, we've had a lot to do with the creepy house that's in the town and the history of the house, and there's a lot of kind of suspicion around the people that have moved in, and there is just this kind of slow creeping sense of dread as you're reading through this book, which is quite well done. And I've just read a pretty scary scene about a funeral. If you've read the book, you'll probably know what I mean. So I'm gonna pop off now and have a shower, make my breakfast and cozy up and do some reading, and I guess I'll check in with you a little bit later on. Hey guys, happy Monday. It's the start of a new week and I've got the day off, which is really lovely, but I just wanted to pop on here and catch you up because I've done a fair bit of reading, I think, since I last spoke to you. So I'm now on page 418 of Salem's Lot, so I'm just past the halfway mark, and I have mixed opinions on this book. I'm a little bit confused about where I stand with it, because there have been things that I've been really enjoying. So the pace has finally picked up, it's got a lot more exciting, we've had more action scenes, we've had more horror content, more scary stuff has started happening, and I've been enjoying that, but I just haven't been loving it as much as I was hoping to, and I've been trying to think what it is and the reason for that. And I think part of it is because there's so many characters in here, there's a massive cast of characters in this book, and Stephen King kind of spends just a few pages with each character, so it feels very much kind of jumpy. So we're kind of flitting around between the different characters, and that's meant that it's taken me a while to get my head around who everybody is, and I've been getting a little bit confused at times and muddling people up. So I think I just would have preferred it a little bit more if we spent longer with each character, so I had enough time to really get a feel for who each person is and become more invested. Pretty much everybody who lives in Salem's Lot is unlikable. They're all not very nice people. They've all got sordid pasts, they've all got skeletons in the closet, they've all done questionable things, and I think that's intentional because it adds to the whole kind of uneasy atmosphere of the book, you know, that Salem's Lot isn't a very nice place and the people in it aren't particularly nice people, and that adds to the whole horror creepy element. So I do understand why that's the case, but it just means that I'm not particularly invested in anybody. I don't really care for anybody in the book. Even the main character, who I feel like we're supposed to root for, I don't particularly love him or find him particularly interesting as a character, which is a bit of a shame. Another reason why I think perhaps I'm not enjoying this as much as I hoped is because I did actually already know what this book was kind of about, so I knew what the main threat was. I feel like it's quite famous, it was written in the 70s, it's really hard to avoid spoilers, but I knew what the kind of main threat in this book is. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it for any of you in case you don't know, but because I knew that, I was just kind of waiting to get to all that good stuff, and I think it took away a little bit of the enjoyment for me, and perhaps I would have enjoyed the beginning a little bit more and found it more interesting if I didn't know where this book was going, because then I would have been a bit more intrigued and I would have been sort of trying to guess what's going on with our main characters, whereas because I already knew what the threat was going to be, I was just kind of waiting for it to get going really. So yeah, I think perhaps that's part of the reason as well why I haven't been enjoying this one as much as I had hoped. So I would say if you're thinking about picking up this book, be warned that it's very slow in the beginning, and also just don't research anything about it, just go into it completely blind, because I think you'll have a better experience that way. So yeah, I'm a bit confused really. The only other thing that I was going to say as well that's been a little bit annoying in this book is the over-sexualization of women in here. Now I think that's quite a common complaint of Stephen King novels, and yeah, I've just found it pretty annoying in this book really. I understand why it's used in some situations. So for example, there's a character in here who's a bit of a sleazeball, and he's always sort of goggling and eyeing up his secretary, and I can understand why sort of over-sexualization would be used in that situation to paint him as a very kind of sleazy, not very nice person. But it's just a lot in this book, and I found that a little bit annoying as well. So yeah, there's things that I haven't been loving about this, but there's also been things that I have been enjoying. So I'm just a bit confused about how I feel about this book. So yeah, I'd be really interested to know your thoughts really. If you've read this book, did you enjoy it? Do you feel like this is a good representation for Stephen King as an author? Because obviously this is my first experience with his work, so I don't know if I'm going to enjoy perhaps other novels more. What do you think I should pick up next? Because yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm a bit confused. I think the ending is kind of going to make it or break it for me. Hopefully it has a really big bang powerful ending, and then perhaps I will think that it's worth it. At the moment I'm a bit undecided about whether it's been worth it for me. Anyway, I am gonna go and make myself some lunch now and do a bit more reading, and I guess I'll check in with you a little bit later on today. Hey guys, so it's a little bit later on now, and I have been doing a little bit of reading today. I went into town and had a nice coffee and sat with my book, which was really nice, and I've just been chilling at home doing some reading as well, and I'm now up to page 465, so I've read a little bit more since I last spoke to you, and I am particularly enjoying the kind of atmosphere and the small town vibe in this book, and I think Stephen King does a good job at building that kind of suspense and feeling of dread in here, so that's really well done. I also like the villains and the way that they're done in the book. I think that he's done that quite well. I would say this book is definitely more kind of creepy and uneasy rather than really scary. My only complaint really is the pacing. As I've said before, it just feels a little bit all over the place. There's been times where I've been flipping through the pages and I've been really excited and wanting to read on, and then there's been other bits that have dragged. Even in the later stages of the books, there's been parts where I've just found it a little bit slow. So yeah, that's my main complaint really. But I am going to put the book down now for the rest of the night and just have a little bit of a break from reading and a little bit of a break from this book. So I think I'm probably going to end the video now. So if you want to know my kind of final thoughts on this book, I expect I'll be doing a wrap up, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I've had a really lovely weekend. I hope that you've had a really lovely weekend too, and yeah, I guess I'll see you next time with another video. Bye.